And we're live. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Ixel's Dream Space, and welcome to my very special guest today, Olivier. Hi, Olivier.
Hi everyone. Hi Ixel.
Hi. Hi, everyone. So you guys know me already. I'm not going to introduce myself, but I will introduce Olivier, a really good friend of mine and also an osteopath since 15 years ago. He's also a teacher and a leader. So we're going to talk a little bit more about what he does here in a bit. But I just want to say to everybody listening that this is going to be a more informative episode because there's going to be a lot of technical information. Yeah, and we're also going to be answering a few of your questions, so stay tuned for that. The objective of this episode, by the way, before I forget, is talking about the subconscious and blockages and how we can use what we call a psychosocial approach to detect them, to treat them, and create a really deep, profound healing so you can let go of past patterns and be more in alignment with your purpose. So, all right, Olivier, would you like to add anything else to who you are? Just share whatever you want about yourself.
So, you introduced me well. I'm a French osteopath for 15 years and I work only with the Neurolink process. It's a biopsychosocial technique using only fascias and neurology. And we have some communication with the patient to increase the results, the session, but we mainly use the brain in the neurovegetative activity.
Yes, and I love it because it's for anybody, right? Pretty much every age, even babies.
Yeah. We can treat babies, newborns, and elderly, and sportsmen, pregnant women, everybody. Because the brain is working the same for a baby or for an old person, for a sedentary person, for an active person.
So the reason why I just absolutely love this method is because it's definitely very linked to the kind of work that I do with the subconscious. We both work with the subconscious, just in a different way. Before we move on to the questions from you guys, I really want to emphasize on the main topic here, which is the secret link between the fascia and the subconscious. So, Olivier, can you expand on that for us a little bit?
So it's in the same times very simple and very complicated. So the brain manage all the information in the body, hormonal, the muscles, so postural information, all the digestive system, everything, and it manage the sensitive part of your body, so the touching, the sight, etc., etc. And in the same time, we have in the body the fascia. The fascia is a link between all your parts, each part of your body, the visceral, the muscles, the bones, the neural system, everything is linked with the fascia. The fascia system is highly innervated and rich with blood vessel, lymphatic, hormonal and neurotransmitter receptors. So there is a huge link between the neural activity and the fascial system by the neurovegetative system. The neurovegetative system is unconscious. It's the automatic way between your brain and your body. It's automatic, but you can regulate it by your behavior and your activity. When something is blocked in the brain, the information change in the body too, and that's why we can have an access to the information in the brain by the body.
Awesome, thank you. And I don't know if you wanted to show right now, but the images of how the fascia looks like, so people can actually
Yes.
see what that looks like. Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, sure, I can. So this video is a real video took under the skin, and you can see the fascia like a web, a spider web, but it's adaptative. You can break the fiber, and they are rebuilding by themselves because of the structure of the fascia. So it's very elastic, adaptative, and that's why you can make tension on them, and that the body will adapt the forces inside yourself. So if you increase the tension on the part of your body, you will attract all the tissue around through this area, and all the tension in the fascia and the tissue will change around. So you can feel it in the body. Your fascia are more fixed on several areas who are blocked by the brain. You can cut it in half. It's not a problem. It's not like a stick. You cut the stick in half and you can rebuild it.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that when I saw this image that you were doing a presentation, I was like, ooh, this is amazing. I finally get to see what it looks like. Thank you for sharing that. Your approach is amazing because it's so, integrative. It's a very holistic approach. Yeah, because it not only deals with the body, not only with the mind, it's all these elements. And you
In
look at really everything. It's just, yeah, 360-degree.
Yeah, it's all at the same time. We don't put apart the psycho or the body. That's why we are very efficient in the treatment. And it could be on headaches, it could be on sprained ankle, it could be on sore throat, on asthma, psoriasis, it could be on transit, sleep disorders, a lot of things, a lot of things, because we never work on the symptoms. We only work on how the brain and the body manage the information. So when you have an information come to you, but this information is too high for yourself because you're tired, because it's really too high for you. You can manage this information. So you will stock it in your brain for later. But in the same times, this information in the brain change the information in the body by the neurovegetative system. So you have a modification of the activity of in the body, the tonus of the muscles, the transit activity, the respiratory, the vascular activity. So a lot of things change because of this new emotion locked in the brain. It's like you put a rock in your backpack. Sometimes it's little rocks, sometimes it's huge rock because it's a big trauma for yourself, and you still can hike, but with a heavy pack, it's harder. So you will your body will show you some pain and some difficulties during the hiking.
Yeah, yeah. And I also want to add before we move on to the questions is that I personally have tried your method and I definitely felt big shifts in my reality and in my body and in my way of thinking. And so yeah, I just wanted to emphasize, that when I share things on here, I like to have something that I've experienced to share with you guys. It's not just about, oh, let's just throw this in just because it's good information. But yeah, I personally have felt the transformation, that we get from the Neurolink process. So yeah, thank you for that.
Yeah, you're welcome, and thank you to share it. And just I want to add that I don't induce anything in your brain. I don't choose what I want to do. I just touch the trauma to show to you it to your brain. Sorry, and you open the capacity of the brain to understanding more yourself, to feeling more yourself, and to understanding more your environment. So it's just that. I just open the door and you go through the door.
Yeah, and it's not invasive at all. So just you guys
No.
imagine this. It's like you just lay on a what's it called? Like a bed. It's what do you call these beds? I forget, but you know what I mean. Those big ones that people use, like osteopaths, right? So you lay on the bed, and the practitioner touches the tissue. They feel into your tissue, sometimes with a little bit of pressure. At first it was like, whoa, what's going on? It was like I wasn't ready for that. Like I didn't know how it was at all, so it was a little bit surprising at the beginning, to be honest. But then once you know what's happening, you're like, okay, yeah. And Olivier actually, and everybody that works with him, because I've had the chance to meet the people that you train, everybody is just so nice and approachable and empathetic, and it's like you just feel this trust. It's not like, oh, this man is touching me. It's like it's this yeah, this connection of like, okay, you know what, this person knows what they're doing, and it's like you just kind of let yourself be led by the process, and it's not invasive at all, like I said, in a sense, and not in the way that they don't use machines, they don't go into your body really. It's like there's no operations or whatever. You don't need all that stuff.
You just need your hands. It's very objective because your tension are yours. And if I treat you, or another therapist treat you, we will find the same tension in yourself, in your body. So I don't choose. It's very objective.
Yeah, so you train practitioners to be really sensitive, right, to the movement of the fascia, how it's moving, and to see what it's doing. So it's like, yeah, can you explain a little bit more about, yeah, how you guys do this? You have to be really good with your hands. Like, you have really sensitive hands.
Yeah, but you can train yourself, and I train the practitioner to do it well. The fascia is always moving, and it's induced by the PMR, the primary respiratory mechanism. It's the movement of the skull induced by the meninges between the sacral area and the skull. So in osteopathy, we say craniosacral therapy. So this movement is induced by the activity of the brain, and it's like a pump between the top and the bottom. And this movement is not only in two ways. There is a three-dimensional movement, and so between the top and the bottom, there is like a movement like this, like a lemniscat. It's the eight, the infinity. So this movement is transferred. This energy is transferred to the whole body, in the articulate, in the joints, in the muscle, and you can feel the movement. This movement in all the parts of your body. So if you put your hands, for example, on the thigh, you will feel between your two hands this movement. And if this movement is locked, or, because of a trauma, because of a scare, for example, you have a fixed point in the tissue. So because you have a decrease of movement, you have a decrease of vascularization, sorry, you have a decrease of oxygenation and an increase of toxin. And that's why you have a painful area, for example. You have an inflammatory area, inflammation in the knee, for example, is because the tension of all the fascias on the area. But there is still a movement, but the movement decreases because of the tensions. And this fixed point is induced by the activity of the brain.
Yes, by
Because
our emotional
there is a
state,
map.
basically.
Yeah, because there is a map in the body linked with your emotion.
Right. So I bet everybody's doing the same as me. I'm touching my thighs and trying to feel that movement that you're talking about. So I
Yeah.
bet I'm not the only one doing that right now. Yeah, you can definitely feel, you can feel things. And is it for some people more than others a little bit more challenging to differentiate what they're feeling? Because I know that some people feel a lot and some people don't feel a lot. But how about those who feel like just a lot of different things? How do you help them differentiate?
I know them because I touch them, I test them, and I know how they manage the.
Yeah, like you touch them
Yeah, I
because
touch
you
them.
also
Yeah,
did the method on them. Yeah, sounds really weird. Okay, one thing that you guys have to know about Olivier, if you're gonna be his friend, he's gotta test you and see how much you score. He's like, okay, pancreas a 4+, 3+2, and and then if you don't fall into his
it's
categories,
our secret code.
yeah, he's like, no, yeah, no, this person to the left. Okay, next. You test with your students as well, like how,
Yeah,
yeah, that you do the method with them and see where they have blockages.
yeah. I know how they manage the situation, their feelings. I know how they work. So um, I can uh, drain you in a good way. Everything is about the behavior and the communication. Everything is about that. So if you are against the behavior of the someone, if you go through the pain of this person, you will love this person. You will stress uh, You stress them, and you can have the best of them if they are stressed. You can have the best of them if they show them the good way to put apart the problem, put apart the feeling, the bad feeling, and go in the good way to treat the patient. Because they need to be objective. Because if I put Ixel on the table to treat Ixel, everybody on the earth can test Ixel, but Ixel is Ixel with her problem, her tensions, and I need to treat what there is, not what I want to see, not what I want to feel. So there is an objectivity about the patient, and we go in this way. So we learn to avoid the mirror effect in the communication, because the mirror effect is a big problem in the communication.
Yeah, so like projecting what you think to thinking, oh, that person is
Exactly.
this
Yeah.
because you are this yourself. Yeah, of course. There's a lot of
Yeah.
projection going on in
Exactly. So
everywhere
that's why
actually. So
that's why a lot of therapists put their hand on the body of their patient and found, oh, there is a problem on the liver, and the other patient, oh, there is a problem on the liver, and the other patient, oh, there is a problem on the liver. Hey, everybody has a problem on the liver. Perhaps it's yourself. It's your problem.
yeah.
So that's a
Yeah,
problem
that's
for
interesting.
therapists. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it could be also, some people might explain it saying, well, I'm attracting those people because that's what I'm working on, so that's why I'm attracting these people. What do you say about that? That's fake.
No, it's not fake. It's the law of attraction, because your
Uh-huh.
emotion are vibration. You vibe them,
Yeah.
even if it's tension inside your body. It's a vibration.
Yeah.
So you attract to yourself what you need. So if you need if you are very affective, for example, you share a lot of love, perhaps you will attract someone who need love, because they are empty of love, and you share them your love, but it's unbalanced, it's unfair, because you share every time your love, and the other is like a vampire.
Wow, you're getting like really deep.
Yeah, yeah,
That's segueing to something else. Like,
yeah. Sorry.
oh, energy vampires. Yeah, those we love those.
Yeah.
So coming back to what you were saying, I really like what you said about how you get to know your students so that you can teach them more effectively. It's great that you connect with them and know what their strong suits are and what their weaknesses are, so you can actually teach them to be more objective and develop their sensitivity if they don't have it, or learn to discern between if it's them or their emotions, or if they're projecting. So it's, that's the thing. It's really cool because you teach them how to see what is going on in the tissue versus what am I feeling or what do I think I see or feel. It's like, just you teach them really specific methods of how to feel into the tissue, right? I
Yeah.
keep going like this.
Yeah. It's
That's how they do. They're like this and they're like super focused, and yeah, it's yeah. So, do you want to move on to the questions?
yeah. Let's move to the question. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, first question from our listeners. Thank you all for your questions, by the way. Very good questions. All right. Number one, fascia release guns are being advertised as a way to reach deeper parts of the body. What is your experience with those?
So fascia guns act with vibration in the body, not only in the fascia, but more specifically on the muscles. And this modification of tension, it's like a pump inside your local area, and that increases the circulation of the bloodstream. And more bloodstream, more oxygen, less toxins, and that's increase the capacity of recovery. And it's the main purpose of these guns. So there is an action on fascia too, because you can act on a non-muscular area, for example, on tendons and around the knee, for example. But the action is quite the same, by pumping, like a pump in the tissue. You don't release the tension in the fascia linked with the emotional activity in the brain. Your brain is stronger.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's like a more like kind of like a, let's say a quick fix or a temporary fix
Ex-
for something that,
exactly.
like
Yeah, yeah.
if you're sore or
I've got one. I've got one, and I use
you
it.
do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I use it for just for recovery, faster recovery. That's all. Uh, I,
Okay.
I, I, yeah, yeah. I had a pain at the elbow a few months ago, and I tried it on. There's no muscular area; it was just here, and I know that why I had this pain. I know in the social situation, and I try it. Nothing changed. Nothing. It's more painful when you act on it.
Yeah, because you have to go and shift something mentally to actually heal that,
Exactly.
right?
Because your brain is stronger and the activity is 24 hours on 24 hours.
Yes. Okay. And that makes me think of this other brand. Well, the thing is, I used to work in the sports industry and running specifically, and there was this brand called Compex. Have you heard about it?
Complex is an electrostimulation. It's
Yes. Yeah. That's also more
it,
muscle then?
you can act the same in the muscle just for recovery by little contraction. Because if you do sports in a high level for a moment, a lower level of activity the day after, for example, increase the recovery. That's why a football player play the day after, but just in a low level, just footing, just chilling. The recovery is increased. So that's why you can use electrostimulation for that, or you can use it for increase your mass, your muscle mass, by increase the level of the stimulation.
Is it similar to the guns? Is it kind of a similar principle, or is it different?
With the gun, you can change quickly the area. You can mass all the muscle and all the different part of your muscle. So
Yeah,
it's
to
yeah,
massage
yeah. The massage
everywhere, really
is
quick.
yeah, it's more intensive. It's more intensive because the shock is more, and it's passive. It's a passive
Okay.
massage because the electrostimulation is an active massage induced by electricity.
Okay, so it is different, but it's yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So this again, just to emphasize, it's more of a superficial treatment. It's a quick fix. It's not really something that's going to clear anything stored in your fascia that is caused by
No,
trauma.
no, no. You will not change at all.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. How can we resolve an area of tension, like pain in the body, through fascia release, and then experience another part of the body in pain?
So I have a good example of that. I had a patient who experienced a trauma, a broken leg 50 years ago. She was hit by a car and she had a broken leg, the lower part of the leg, but with a several fracture. And she experienced a lot of treatment, a lot of treatment. And 1 month before I saw her, she made a treatment by an osteopath. So he did it well in the body. He treated the fascia, he treated the bones, the intra-bones techniques. You can release tension, but she experienced a lot of pain in the pelvis, in the back, and because the fascia is maintained by the brain. Not even if the tension is in the leg, it's the brain the key of the releasing of the tension. So if you force the fascia inside the leg, it's like a node. It's like a node in the tissue. If you all the rope around the node, you will increase the tension on the other parts. So the mobility gain in one side is lost in the other side. So that's why you can't force the fascias. You can for them. But by releasing the tension, the information of the trauma, so we did it during the session, the tension in the legs decreased by themselves. The information of the trauma, that was a physical trauma for this person, was still locked in the body and still locked in the brain, even 50 years after. So by just touching this information and allow the brain to release it, to erase, it's definitely the activity in the brain change, the stimulation of the body change immediately. And we just needed to add some information in the tissue and the leg, but very quick, very soft information. And all the tension were released after that. And she recovered a lot of mobility, and she released all these feelings about the trauma. So she had the souvenir of the trauma, but she don't have the feeling of it.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. That's an amazing case. And
Yeah,
yeah, so do you want to move on to the next question?
yeah, let's go.
Okay. So, let's see. Do different parts of the body, fascia, correspond to certain emotions or beliefs?
Yeah, sure, sure. There is a map. There is a same map for everybody. All the visceral area between the higher part of the throat and the pelvis are linked with an emotion. So, for example, the heart is the affective area. The liver is the self-affirmation and timing. The intestine is with space and relationship. The bladder with territory, and the small groups like family, friends, and in each part, for example, we can talk about the lungs. For example, the lungs is an affective area too, and if it's the stimulation of the lungs are positive, you have happiness, joy every time. You love eating, you love life, you enjoy life, a lot. If it's locked, you feel sadness, sorrow. You can feel alone, and if we go deeper in the brain, in the lower level of the consciousness, you have other activity with the lungs, and you can experience the life like you have to work, only work, no pleasure, just work, for example. And if you go deeper, you can experience that you need to show the truth at everybody, and you
Mm.
want to show the truth at everyone. It's several levels for a same area.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, yeah, that's really interesting, and it does seem to go very, very deep, like you said. Because also, I was just wondering about all the different perspectives that we have on what different parts of the body mean, etc. And I've seen many different things and heard many different things about how to interpret the body. And
Yeah.
yeah, so but this, like you said before, your method has been proven over and over again. So, about how many patients do you think you've treated so far? Do you have a count of that?
Yeah, around 30,000 people.
Wow, that's amazing.
So you see
Nice.
the same patterns and the same problems, the same issues, the same pathology all the time. So, for example, there is a lot of neck pain and
Mm.
shoulder pain for the people who experience tension on the heart, lungs, and thyroid, because
Mm.
it's like a node inside that make tension on this part, and it's the same
Mm.
times with pelvis pain, for example, and vesical urinary problems. There is tension in the bladder, in the visceral area, in the bladder, and it's the same for everything. You need to have a field, an emotional field, because there is this emotion inside your brain. There is an activity on an area, and this activity is the field of the pathology. So if you have a
Mm.
pathology on this area, it's linked because you have something working on this area in the emotional way. But with the Neurolink process, we can know what level is working. So we can have an access easier, we can have an access with more time, and we can have an access with a long time of treatment, depend of the problem and the patient. So sometimes we can realize the problem in one session and it's amazing. Sometimes we need more time.
Right. When we're talking about what level it's working at. What are you referring to?
So there is several levels of subconscious. It's like an iceberg. You see, there is a little part on over the surface, and underneath the surface you have a big part. And this part, if you're on the boat looking for the iceberg, just underneath the surface, you see a part of the iceberg, but deeper you see nothing. So the subconscious is you have a lower, just underneath parts. You know how you are. You know you are an affective. You know you are you have some values. Sorry, you have some values. But deeper, you don't know yourself. You see the reaction, the feedback from the others, the feedback of your life, your experience in every day, and that feedback gives you information on yourself.
Are you talking about the pyramid that you showed me?
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You want to show the pyramid? Is that okay?
Yeah, I can show you. Wait a
That way
minute.
people get what you're saying, what you're referring to with these levels.
So we'll do like this. Okay, so this part is the conscious, and under is the subconscious. So there is several levels, and the deeper you go, the more is hidden from yourself. So it's very complicated to know yourself correctly because there is a lot of several levels. And in one level, for example, if we take this one, we have three emotions working together, and in this one, three emotions working together, and lower three emotions working again together. So that's why when you experience treatment on trauma, you want to go deeper in yourself with a deep hypnosis, for example. You work on this one, or this one, but they are working all together. So that's why you can't release your emotion. And I saw patients who experienced a lot of treatments, and I experienced it by myself. Nothing changed inside themselves. Nothing. Nothing. I still have the tension in the fascia, and the tension is higher after the treatment. It's not released, it's higher. Because it's like you want to force the brain to understand what's in the lower level. But it's like this pyramid is like a house with the foundations and the levels.
And talk a little bit about that analogy with the trees, because I just loved it. How it's like about first taking care of the rotten apples, and then you go and uproot or unroot the tree rather than going and just directly just yanking the tree out of its
Okay.
place.
So yeah, it's the tree is like the analogy of a behavior, a strong behavior inside yourself. For example, you have a behavior from the lower age, and it's like a trauma, but it's not a trauma. It's a way to see, a way to feel, and to manage the communication. And it's from yourself and from the parents. So you could see like a trauma. So it's rooted in the lower part of your brain, deeper, and so you have the trunk, and after you have all the branches, and each trauma you fix on during your life is like, for example, an apple, and one apple, two apple, and you fix a lot of trauma on your tree. So if you want to move the tree, you have to move all the trauma in the same times, and it's too complicated because you have to deprogram everything in the same time. It's too complicated for your brain. So by removing apple by apple, we remove all the traumas, and you can unroot the tree because it's lighter. We don't have to unplug all the trauma in the same time. One behavior is one tree, so you have several behaviors in yourself, and so you can't treat all the forest in the same time with a lot of problems and traumas. So it's complicated. So, or you take one by one, tree after tree, or you cut it all, but it's very traumatic.
Yeah, I just love that. People just want to chop off everything. Like, just get rid of it all. Just get me,
Yeah.
trauma free right now. Want fix? Yeah, lots of people want quick fixes, but that's not what it's about. And that's where you and I also converge quite a bit. It's like, things take time and they have layers. So what I really like
Yeah.
also about your method is that you actually encourage people yeah, you encourage people to take their time, and you're not going to be treating them, 5 sessions in a row. You actually ask us to wait a month or so,
Yeah,
right, between every session.
yeah, one session by month maximum, because once you treat the person, the brain need 1 month to remove the emotion, and after, yeah, the person have to manage his new self, and that's why we can increase the range between 2 sessions. But you don't have to take a lot of things in the same time. It's too complicated for the brain. It's like when you have a discussion with someone. I talk, you listen, you talk, I listen. It's easier in the communication. But if we are 3 or 4 persons speaking in the same times to you, you listen nothing. It's too much information for your brain. Even you are a woman and you can do a lot of things in the same times, you can understand everyone at the same time. For my part, one by one. I'm a man, it's easier.
Oh, yeah, that's a great analogy. I just love it. And we're going to touch on it a little bit more too with I think it's the next question.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, so the next question is, I'm having an issue with lower back stiffness. I've been working on loosening the glutes, knees, and hip area, but still having lower back stiffness. Any advice?
It's a common case, the lower back pain and stiffness, because you have your inner program, your inner emotions, and this activity in the brain stimulates an activity in the body, so in the muscles, in the visceral area, and in the posture, everything. So you can change it by yourself. It's impossible. You can manage it little, but if it's too high for your body, even you do sports, even you do massage, even you do hot tub and this kind of stuff to release the tension, the activity of the brain is 24 hours on 24 hours all the time. You have to cut the information inside the brain, to cut it and to change it in the body. You can act on the body. You give information to the brain, but if it's a little stress, you can release it. It's okay. You have a little stress with someone. You feel tension in your body. A massage, hot tub, it's okay. I think about another thing, and the tension is released. But if it's your inner program, you can change it by yourself. So that's why during the years after years, the fascia is still in tension, the muscles are still in tension, so you can release them easily.
Yeah. So the advice is to really reprogram the subconscious beliefs. So
Yeah,
either, but yeah, working with people like you and me, for example, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
with
so
you
come
and me
see us,
together.
guys. That's the good advice. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's move on to the next question. How important is hydration for fascia, and is there anything you can suggest for optimal hydration?
So the hydration is very important, because we drain all the body with the water. So we need water to drain toxin from the body, and you have to change this water. So you have to afford this to your body and to the fascias. It depends, the quantity of water you need depend of the weather, your activity during the day, the food you take, because if you eat a lot of vegetables and fruits, there is a lot of water inside.
Okay, yeah, so it is important to hydrate and get a lot of minerals. I think a lot of people know about this, and my listeners know about this already. So, yeah, the fruits and vegetables actually also contain minerals. That's for me, that's the most important thing. As long as your body has those minerals, you're going to be hydrated, and you're going to need, yes, you're going to need water, but not enormous amounts of water. So yeah,
No.
but taking into account the quality, I think you were talking about that with me the other day too. Like the quality of the water is super important. Of course, if you can get spring water, mountain water, that's probably the best option. Of course, not a lot of us have access to that, but that would be the ideal, right?
Yeah. The quality of the water is the most important. Spring water, mineral water is the best quality of water, and we can see the research from Masaru on the water. He experienced the crystallization of the water with several quality of water, and even with words on it, and with music, and we can enhance the quality of the water by the vibration, but the main part is natural spring water is the best. Is the best. The water from the city is treated with a lot of products, and the quality is decreased. And for example, if you put the water in the microwave and you boil it, if you water the plants with this water, the plant will die. So the microwave changed the architecture of the molecule, and the plant can't use it.
Yikes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just make sure that you're not putting a lot of stuff in the microwave. That's so true. Very good advice. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Let's go on to the next question. Is it okay to do fascia release every day or every other day? Yeah. So how often, right? To do these exercises, and I told you a little bit about what type of exercises a lot of people know about.
So the fascia is a link between all your musculoskeletal system, your visceral system, and you have to maintain this link, this bond between all your parts of the body. If you release the tension every day, you release the adaptation between who you are and how to use your body. Because who you are is in the brain, is yourself, and how to use it. You're acting with your muscles, and you feel with your body. So if you cut this bond between both by removing all the tension in the fascia, you cut the communication between your body and your brain. It's like when you do a hot tub. There is a lot of bubbles impact on the body. It's like a lot of shocks, and you release the tension, because all this information release the tension temporarily, and this way you feel stressless, you feel painless. It's okay. Your body is more soft, but your brain is still here giving information to your body. I'm very tired after a session like this, but day after you start to recover your tension, because the brain gives the same information as before. So, or you do it all the time, but you can manage the corrected information in your body, or you do it correctly by treating the brain, the information in the brain, and the tension are released in the body. You remove a lot of stress in your brain, you release a lot of traumas. The tension in the body is more balanced. So you have always tension in the fascias, always, but they are very soft.
Right. Okay. So yeah, just to emphasize that the idea here is that a lot of these things that we commonly see usually just work either on a superficial level, or when they go deeper, usually it'll go touch on things that are too deep, and then people might be experiencing a lot of emotional release and everything. But like Olivier was saying earlier, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're healing something in the correct order, let's say, because maybe they're shaking the foundation, but then all the other things above have not been taken care of. So it has to be done very carefully. If somebody's doing this, they've got to know what level to touch first, right? And this is what's really cool about Neurolink, is that it's done little by little at the person's timing, and not forcing anything that's not ready to be let go of or released, which brings me to say that that's exactly how I work. So this is why we have so much synergy between us, because it's a similar approach, and it's both linked to the subconscious. And sometimes, when you're working on hypnosis, or just really deep, going deep into your subconscious, but only deep enough where you're ready to actually let go of that, then the fascia also releases, right?
Yeah, yeah, and I experienced it with you, with the last session we did together. I had a problem in myself, a special area, and I knew where it come from. I have this in my mind. I try to treat it because it's deeper, deeper, deeper in the brain. So I don't have all access with Neurolink processors. That's why hypnosis could help us for other part of our brain. And this part of me was a huge problem for me, and I tried to fix it by the tissue, by the feelings, but there was a part of the problem I missed.
Yeah, like a blind
So,
spot.
yeah, it was a blind spot, and you helped me to find it and making the link between the feeling inside myself, what's happened in my past, and the emotion, everything together. So the bio, psycho, and social all together. The tension was released after the session, and very quickly.
Wow, that's I love that. Yeah, and I was just super grateful to hear that that happened because I wasn't expecting that, to be honest. I was just like, oh, you know what? I'll let him try. Let's see what happens. I prepared it in a way so that you would also feel a little bit more at ease. I had to do a what's it called? The test with the hands to see how susceptible you were and all
Yeah,
that. Because I know that some people need more, they need more proof of like, is this going to really work? Or, and some people are just very open. And I did feel like there was some sort of like skepticism on your behalf, like you trusted me, but at the same time, can I trust the method?
yeah. That was my first time with hypnosis, really.
Wow.
But I work with other states of consciousness all the time. So I know about hypnosis, and I know it works really, but I never experienced it by myself before. And I saw that you were very right for people I know. And so that's why I wanted to experience this with you. So that was perfect for me. And we experience the treatments in life at the good time, always at the good time. So that was my moment.
Yes, it was your moment. It was your time to experience that. Yeah, you were ready to let go. And I
Yeah,
just love how we're seeing still things moving, right? And you've started to remember your dreams, which I love.
yeah, yeah. We are dreams, very well.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is I find a lot of times people that work with me, they don't remember their dreams, and then all of a sudden they start remembering them. Like I just had this one person even yesterday during the session. I asked them, "So do you remember your dreams this week?" "No, I don't." "Did you remember anything?" "No, I don't really often." And then this morning they texted me this big fat dream that they had last night after our session. So it's like, okay, I guess this has to be part of my work. I mean, even if you don't dream, you probably will have some dreams after working with me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So let's do this other question. If you're hyper focusing on a painful area of your body, will the pain intensify while you are willing it away? So focusing on like, oh, I want it to go away. I want the pain to go away. Like, yeah, does
Yeah.
that help it or does it intensify it?
So that's a huge problem everybody experience. If you think about a problem, if you think about something, you will increase it. You will increase it all the time because for example, if you think about your pain, lower back pain, for example, this lower back pain is linked with your emotional state and with your history, with something happened in your life. So if you think about it, your brain know that, and you maintain the activity, the emotional activity in the brain. So if you maintain it, the response, the answer in the body is the same. So that's why you can release the tension by thinking about it all the time. But it's like I say, don't think about a red car. Don't think about it. You will think about it. You have the image in your mind. You can't remove this image in your mind because I say don't think about. But if I say think about a pink elephant, focus on the pink elephant, you will have this image in your mind, but you lost the red car. It's a problem of the brain. You have to focus your brain on the solution and not on the problem. It's the same times. It's the same thing. Sorry, with life coaches. With life coaches, you have to focus on the solution, focus on your goal every time. You are not weak. You are strong. So be proud of yourself, etc., etc. And it's good. It works. It works really. But you have to struggling against your emotion. So in the short time, you have to do that. But for a long time, a real balance, you have to understand what's happened inside you and the therapist is here for you, or the all your social feedback is here for you. We need to listen this feedback, and we need to listen from the body too. That's why we have a map, and pain at the knee is not the pain at the elbow. The pain at the shoulder is not the pain on the heart, on the foot too is different. So if you experience a pain, you need to understand the symbolism of this pain because of the area and the type of pain. If you have a feeling of burn, it's not the same pain as the numbness, for example. It's not the same. So you have to understand the link between what's happened in your social life, what's happened in your mind at this moment, and why it's here and why it's or here or here or here. So if you can do that, you have to focus on the solution and go ahead.
Right. And going back again to the fact that we've got to look at to see what area and what level of the subconscious it's stored in, and that's the way you can release it, not focusing on the area itself, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, sure. That's right.
Perfect. Okay. So then we had a comment about, because I put out for people to say either comments or questions. So a comment was, so when it comes to fascia and healing, trauma working with the body and mind, the first thing is you always want to be relaxed and in a parasympathetic state. In order to do that, breathing has to always be in check. So, for example, 5 seconds in, 7 seconds out, and nasal breathing. And some great ways to relieve stress and loosen up the fascia would be sauna, hot Epsom salt baths, cold showers. These all help the body loosen up and flow a lot better, which is what the fascia needs. Anything that promotes better circulation throughout the body will also help the fascia as well. When fascia gets very tight, it prevents circulation, which is how trauma gets stuck in the body, in theory. So you've already touched on a few of these things, like the sauna and the Epsom salts. Do you have other comments to add about that?
The sympathetic and the parasympathetic system are always working together. So it's not one and after the other, they both work in the same times. And they are managed by a part of the brain between the hemispheres and the spine. And this is completely subconscious. You can give some information in your system by breathing, by giving good information for you. For example, you eat an ice cream and you love ice cream, but if you don't love ice cream, you will not give good information to your system. So that's why we have to understand that each person has his own pleasures and own pain, and we cannot expect the others do the same thing as yourself, because each one has his own experience. And for me, it's not painful. For you, it's painful, for example. And if it's painful, I will increase the tension in my body, in my fascias and everything. So the fascias is just the consequences of the information in the brain. So that's why in the Neurolink process or hypnosis, we can reach several levels and several trauma, but not in the same level for you and for me, for example.
Right. So what you're saying is that it's actually along the same lines as the answers to all the other questions, right? Because it's always about that there's just momentary fix that doesn't go into the either the root cause if it's ready to be released, or just some other layer of the trauma that needs to be worked on. And so what you're saying is that either through hypnosis or the Neurolink process are options for people to go and work on that emotional trauma to actually create long-lasting changes in the fascia.
Yeah. Effective.
Okay, awesome. So that's for the questions. Thank you guys again for sending them in. We're going to start wrapping it up here. Thank you guys for listening. If you're still here, then obviously there's something here that that's for you, if either to maybe look into hypnosis or the Neurolink process to assist you in your journey, or to become a practitioner, it's with Olivier.
Sure.
Yeah, this brings me to asking you, Olivier, because this podcast is about dreams, not only when we're asleep, but also awake, or aspirations. So what is your dream with what you're doing with Neuralink?
So I dream big. I am dreaming big. The expression, the quote is "Go big or go home." So I dream about a lot of clinics around the world, with a lot of practitioners like me or like you, all working together. And the main goal of this is to treat a lot of people, to allow people to have an access to these treatments and to release their trauma. I saw a lot of traumas in my in my office, and I treat a lot of people, but I can treat all people. We experience in this moment bad situation with Israel, Gaza, Lebanon. There is a lot of trauma for these people. We know that a trauma can be rooted in the DNA during 3 generations. So by treating people, we help next generation. And if you don't have this trauma in yourself, you will not work in the way to treat it. So you will not experience the same thing. So we can treat a lot of people from war, from raped women, orphans, this kind of stuff. And the main goal of Neurolink, the project Neurolink, is to allow all this population to be treated by our practitioners. So I hope in a few years we can do it with the help of other practitioners like you.
Oh, yes, I love that. I love the project. And I'm sure people listening here are just also going to love that idea. So, again, if you're listening up to here, maybe you're interested in being part of the team. So, please don't hesitate to contact us. And especially if you want to become a Neuralink practitioner. Olivier, I'm going to put his contact information in the show notes so you can contact him directly. Follow him on Instagram, the French Osteo underscore DBX, right? Yeah. Yes, and also his podcast is coming up, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, more stuff to come, guys. It's things are moving very quickly. Things are moving so quickly. Everybody's expanding. It's if you're here, I know that you guys have experienced a lot of expansion lately. So we're here to help each other. We want to create communities. We want to create a support system. So yeah, that I know that's been one of my goals, and it's something that's ingrained very deeply within me, that I want to create communities that are self-aware, curious, that operate from integrity and heart-centered. So that's where we also converge. Olivier and I, this is what we want to build. So again, inviting you guys to reach out if you are curious to learn more, or if you just have questions or comments also. And yeah, Olivier, let me know if you want to add anything else, or maybe just a phrase, a quote, or some advice for people to take away from this podcast today.
I will just thank you so much, because it's my first time to speak in English like this, and to give information about that. In French, it's easier for me, but in the future, it will be more fluent and more easier. So focus on your goal. Focus on your purpose. You need a purpose. Everyone needs a goal in his life, and focus on it, work on it, and listen the feedback. You learn. So if you did it wrong, change yourself, manage the problem differently, and you will do it better. And that's in this way you can reach your goal. So even if it's for work, for life, for family, everything you want, step by step, listen the feedback and change yourself.
Yes, thank you. Yes, follow your dreams, right? Your goals, your dreams, all of that. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you guys have it. Again, thank you so much, Olivier, and I will see you guys again for the next episode.
See you next time. Bye.